Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. If you could please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kraskowiak.
Here.
Councilmember Rayrauer.
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Geisler.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Cook.
Here.
One absent, Johnson.
All right, thank you. First item on our agenda is to adopt this evening's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I heard a motion. Was that Geisler or
Yes.
Rayrauer? Geisler,
Geisler.
motion by Geisler, second by probably Carlson, maybe? Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the agenda is adopted. To state the obvious while we're starting here, there's a couple of us that are following some COVID protocols. So we needed to be in a public space. So there's Councilmember Kraskowiak and I are in one conference room at the City Hall, and Councilmember Rayrauer is in another one, and then the rest of the council is in the dais, except for Councilmember Johnson, who called his flight was canceled and he was feeling terrible and he couldn't get back, but I guess there's worse places to be stuck than Hawaii. So we are on to the minutes from the December 21st meeting.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson.
make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
All right, I motion by Carlson. I'm going to give that one to Kraskowiak because he was right next to me. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. We have 5 items of council business this evening, and it's really all just kind of the housekeeping to get the year started. The first one is item 2, and that is to designate a council secretary. In 1994, council entered into an agreement with Time Saver Offsite Secretarial for recording and preparation of meeting minutes, and this agreement has thus far been extended annually. They have submitted an addendum to the Recording Secretary Service Agreement for 2022, and the addendum does reflect a rate increase of just under 2% to the base rate. This will result in a small increase for secretarial services, but the increase can be accommodated in the approved budget. Staff will continue with the modified format of the minutes and only include discussion and not staff reports, which will minimize the cost of minute production. Does anybody have any questions on that? No. Okay. Somebody want to move that then?
Are we gonna move the,
We're not actually in a consent agenda. Oh, we're in council business. We have to take each one of these individually.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
make a motion that we adopt Resolution 22-1 designating Time Saver Offsite Secretarial Incorporated as Secretary Council for 2022 and approve the addendum to Recording Secretary Service Agreement.
Second. Rayrauer.
Motion by Carlson, second by Rayrauer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Yeah, I should have actually spelled it out a little clearer at the beginning. Normally, we're doing the consent agenda, so you wait for it to get through all the items, but there is no consent agenda this evening. The next item is item 3, which is to consider council rules of procedure. Annually, we adopt the rules of procedure setting forth the order of business for regular meetings, along with certain definitions and explanations. As a reminder for council, the city manager is authorized to prepare a list of consent agenda items, but the mayor or any council member may request that a particular consent agenda item be removed from the consent list and placed on the regular agenda. This action should be taken at the time the agenda is formally adopted, and the item will then be placed for consideration immediately after adoption of the remaining consent agenda items. As always, should the council have any questions regarding items posted on the final agenda, contact staff, and they will provide additional information before or during the council meeting. Anybody have any questions on that? Otherwise, we'd be looking for a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 22-2 establishing council rules of procedure and adopt the addendum to the Resolution 22-2 definitions and explanations of city council order of business.
Second?
Motion by Geisler, second by Carlson. Any discussion or corrections, or any discussion, I should say? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. We're on to item 4, which is the designation of the official newspaper. The Anoka County Union Herald has submitted a proposal to serve as the city's legal newspaper for 2022. Their publication rates will remain the same as in 2021 at a rate of $10.75 per column inch. The Herald meets all requirements for serving as the legal newspaper.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Rayrower?
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 22-3, designating the Anoka County Union Herald as the official newspaper for 2022.
I second.
Motion by Rayrower, second by Hernandez Jr. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. And on to item 5, which is the board and commission appointments. We have a list of the city boards and commissions with recommendations for reappointments. Per city code, the council is responsible for designating chairs for each commission, so current chairs have been listed. The resolutions have been drafted based on that data, but should council wish to make any changes to chair selections, the resolutions can be updated accordingly. So we're looking at Arts Commission, which currently has 7 vacancies. We're looking to appoint Mary Ann Keene Chair, Ellen Fueling and Elaine Stout are reappointments. The Board of Adjustment and Appeals, there are no vacancies, and we're looking to reappoint Erin Vandelindy as the chair and reappoint for another term. The Charter Commission appointments occur in March. The Fire Civil Service Commission, there is no vacancy, and it would be Caroline LaCourcier is chair and Al Hofstad is a reappointment. Historical Commission has 4 vacancies, and we're looking to appoint Scott Sleeper as chair and reappoint Bill Peterson and Robert Powell as members. Park and Recreation Commission, there are 2 vacancies, and we're going to reappoint Neil Livermore as chair and reappoint Ian Undo, Karen Blaska, and William Reichenborn to the commission. The Planning Commission has no vacancies. We're looking to reappoint Wayne Schwartz as chair and then reappoint Don Heikela and Ron Bradley as commissioners. And Chris Geisler, sorry, that was on the next page. Safety Commission, there are 7 vacancies. We're looking to reappoint Al Hofstad as the chair. And then the Sustainability Commission has 2 vacancies, appointing Stacy Demmer chair and reappointing Annie Hendrick as the commissioner. That would be the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Mr. Brody, can these be all taken together?
I will leave that to your discretion.
Okay, well, let's just see how it comes forward.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Rayrower?
I make a motion to adopt Resolutions 22-4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, and -11, approving annual appointments to the Arts Commission, Board of Adjustment and Appeals, Firefighter Civil Service Commission, Historical Commission, Parks Commission, Planning Commission, Safety Commission, and Sustainability Commission respectively.
Second. Motion by Ray Rauer and a second by Griscoviac. Discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Geisler?
I have a number of different things about this. First, our commissions are wonderful. We have great people who volunteer in our community and do wonderful, wonderful things. And, I support the vast majority of the commissions and the appointments. As council is aware, there are two members that I don't think live up to the ideals of their community. We have one commission where we've had a lot of churn, and the feedback I've gotten is the chair and the group is not accepting of new ideas. I would like to see us address that. I also have an issue with one member from another commission who, didn't meet last year the attendance requirements for that commission, but because we only can appoint or reappoint on their appointing cycle, we couldn't take action last year, and has stated that, they don't really like the rules and don't want to follow the rules of the commission and the code, which is kind of a requirement for that commission. And so I am going to abstain from this vote because I can't in good faith vote yes for everyone on this list, because there are two people that I don't think meet the standards of our community. But I don't want to diminish the great work and value that everybody else on all of these commissions is putting forth. And with council's conversation, I think we are going to be looking at workshops to look at how can we address potential challenges that a commission might have. Like if there is somebody who really maybe doesn't need to be reappointed, can we take action before the 3-year cycle? And so we're going to be looking at doing things like that to make our commissions strong and maintain the integrity of the commissions and ensure that as new members come forward to participate in these commissions, that their voices are heard and we are continuing to learn and grow as a whole community. So.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Carlson?
I'd like to just reiterate Councilmember Geisler's first point and thank everyone who has served our commissions. You're serving our community, truly serving our community, and thank you so much. And I also, with all the vacancies here, I just want to make sure we have an invitation to residents to join our commissions. It's vital for our city, and it's a great way to serve.
And Mayor?
Councilmember Hernandez?
It's actually Matt Stemwittle. So I just wanted to mention, since Councilmember Carlson brought up the potential to have new people join our commissions, we do have a commission application available on our city website that you can download and fill out, and it kind of asks the applicant to rank their preference on commissions. We have a number of commissions, as the mayor mentioned, we was going through each commission. Really, it's as simple as applying. You'll get a message from the clerk's office and the liaison from that commission. We'll try to match you up as best we can. We'll ask you to attend a meeting or two to kind of get familiar. In some cases, there's a recommendation that comes from the commission itself. In other cases, there might need to be more involvement either at a staff level or at a council level. Nonetheless, it's good to get that application in as soon as possible, and I know we'll be setting out to fill some of those vacancies here as soon as we can in 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Stemwittle. I would also like to thank everybody that has so selflessly served on all these commissions. They do the yeoman's work for the city, and I don't think people realize how many things happen in this community because of all of these commissions. And for the most part, most of them are there selflessly serving as community members. Some are there trying to get a step up on something else, but I think that most of them are selflessly serving, and I appreciate all of them and all of their service. And if anybody has any other discussion, otherwise we have a motion and a second. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Yeah, that seems like it should be an opposition, but okay. So we have a motion that is passed with one abstention, Councilmember Geisler. On to item 6, which is, we're even close to it's the end of our council business anyway. We're looking at council appointments. Each year, the council makes appointments to certain organizations. Council is being asked to make the 2022 appointments at this time. And we're looking to, we have council members that represent the city on several organizations. And we have a list of appointments to be filled by council. And we, as the same as all the commissioners, we discussed this at a workshop last month. We're looking at, oh gosh, I'm not even gonna, so what do you think, Mr. Stemwell? Should we read all these? Do you need all these read, or what do we need?
Mayor, Council, I don't think you necessarily need to go through the list of each organization and the recommended appointments and appointed alternates. I think if there are any questions or if you want to discuss any of the specifics, that would be okay.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler,
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions 2212, 2213, 2214, 2215, 2216, 2217, 2218, 2219, 2220, and 2221, appointing members of the Anoka County Joint Law Enforcement Council, the Anoka Hennepin District 11 Community Education Advisory Council, and to the Local Government Information System, LOGIS, to the Minnesota Metro North Tourism, Twin City Gateway, the Schwann Super Rink Joint Board, Anoka County Fire Protection Council, the Coon Rapids Fire Relief Association, North Metro Mayors Association, Youth First Community of Promise, and the Community Strength Foundation, respectively.
Second?
Second.
we have a motion by Geisler and a second by Rayauer. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. And we are on to item 7 under new business, which is to consider resolution 22-22, designating the official depositories and investment collateral management procedures. State statutes allow the city council to authorize the treasurer or chief financial officer to designate depositories for city funds and to manage the collateral for those funds. The attached resolution designates U.S. Bank as the official depository and authorizes the finance director to designate additional depositories for investment purposes, approve wire transfer agreements with the depositories, and manage the collateral as prescribed by state statute. Does anybody have any questions or need more information?
Mr. Mayor?
Your Honor.
Councilmember, was that a Carlson one in there somewhere? Rayauer?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt resolution 22-22, designated depositories and investment collateral management procedures.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Rayauer. Is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 8 will be postponed to the first council meeting in February.
So,
I
Mr.
imagine
Mayor?
we need a motion to table that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to table the multiple pet permit appeal for 11356 Flintwood Street to a date certain of February 2nd.
Second. Motion by Geisler, second by Griscoviac. There's no discussion when tabling. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And that is tabled until the February meeting. Is there anybody in the room for open mic, Mr. Stemwedel?
There's one person in the room, although she is indicating she's not interested in open mic, it appears, so. Oh, okay, all right.
All right, so we'll move past open mic, and we're on to other business.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Griscoviac, or Geisler, sorry.
That's fine. One thing that I would like to just kind of bring up from a discussion when we look at the multiple rooms that we're in and distanced, with the potential with the Omicron variant of having it highly transmissible and more folks potentially needing to quarantine, I'd like to suggest that we consider, just a limited emergency powers that could allow us to advertise and do our meetings via Zoom, to be able to make it easier. So if there is someone who potentially is a positive case, but it's mild, we want to keep them at home and quarantined at home, but still let them participate if they want to. But to do that, I think we need to change our rules. And so I'd like to offer that up as a suggestion.
Mayor, Council, I'll comment on that a bit if I may. When the state had an emergency declaration, we were sort of under more flexible arrangements with the way we could handle online meetings. And specifically, we could allow for council members to Zoom in from home. And in July, we had to go back to the old rules, which require a council person to be in a public space, a listed public space, when interacting in a meeting. Interactive TV, they call it in state statute. So it's kind of an outdated language and outdated statute in some ways. But if we were to declare some narrow emergency, we believe we could allow, because in state statute it does say that if the local government has declared that emergency, that they have, again, the ability to have more flexible rules on meetings. So I don't know if I've captured that accurately, Mr. Brody, but if there's anything else you want to mention.
I think that does capture it. There's a few details that we still need to look at. It isn't quite as clear because it is fairly new, and whether, a local emergency versus a more state emergency, which makes it more clear. But clearly that's been on our discussion radar the last couple of weeks, and so we are certainly open to that thought.
And just to continue, I think what I had thought today was that at the work session for next week that we could bring some additional details on what that might entail, and council could further consider at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Stemwell, council received an email today that has me really concerned. And we were informed that a homeless shelter was moving into one of our hotels. All of our hotels are pretty necessary, but we're one of the highest, or the lowest vacancy rate of any of the visitor bureaus. And the National Sports Center, our Sand Creek Fields, everything is just gonna be busted again this summer. And we're going to need all those motel rooms that have originally been designated as motel rooms. Can we learn something about this before another meeting? Or, we were informed they were gonna take over an entire hotel on Monday, January 17th. They're moving 100% of their residents into the hotel. And I don't think that's reasonable. Is there something that we can do to keep that as a functioning hotel in town? I don't like the precedent.
Sure. Mayor, Council, yes, we had understood that there was interest in the local nonprofit organization pursuing that property as their long-term shelter. What was news today was that they have intention to, before they would consider purchase of that property, moving their residents into that facility, as they feel like they're too space restricted at their current facility. Dave Brody and I, the city attorney, have had some early discussions about what is or isn't allowed potentially in city code and zoning and so forth. We don't have any definitive answers for you on that today. What I would potentially suggest is this could be a topic at the work session on the 11th. that might give us some time to explore that issue a little further earlier this month before any final decisions are made. I did reach out to the executive director of that organization to just understand better what their intentions were, and that sounded as if there might be some flexibility around that earlier move-in date, but that was as far as we got here late this afternoon and evening. So that's as much as I know for now. If council's interested in having a conversation about that on Tuesday, certainly we could schedule that as part of our work session.
I, for one, would like us to have that conversation. I mean, I think that this was really a big step. I mean, sending us the email, just letting us know that they're moving everybody in there. I just kind of think it forces our hand that we're going to have a conversation about it.
Sure.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor?
Remember, was it Geisler?
Geisler, yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a business, and if the business chooses to rent to another organization, that's the private business's choice, right? And if the private business chooses to sell their business, that's their choice as well. You know, I think that, you know, for us, we need to have a conversation, but we also, you know, need to be looking at what can we do. I mean, in the past, we've been very supportive and of trying to end homelessness in our community. And so I think that we could have a conversation and look to try and find a way that there can be a balance and meeting the private sector's desire to rent their space or sell their building, and yet make everything work for the community.
Your Honor.
Councilmember Raybauer?
I'd just like to follow up on Councilmember Geisler that I agree with her statements. It being a private business, they are allowed to make that decision to give that space to the homeless shelter. And in addition, it's a timely move that's important for the health and safety of those individuals for a number of reasons. And I would reiterate that we have a commitment to our residents and ending homelessness, and think about how we can continue as a council to strive towards that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just to be clear, I'm not unsympathetic to the homeless, and I have been a supporter of that organization, but we also have zoning for a reason, and we had a terrible experience when they used this as a homeless shelter last year. We cranked our heat wave and our crime up, and we had to have meetings with the businesses down there to try and keep them from moving. And the other hotels down there are very concerned with losing that as a hotel, because there is, when you aggregate them all together, you know, it increases competition, and it just makes it better. And we're the largest lodging user in Twin City Gateway, and we need all of our motels. So for them to just change the use, I mean, I agree they can rent them out as a private business, and I agree they can sell it's a private business. However, you know, to bring in a completely different operation that may not fit within our zoning or the plan, I just think we need to discuss it.
Mr. Mayor?
Okay. Any other business? Mr. Stemwell, do you have something? I'm sorry.
Councilmember Carlson.
Oh, Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Carlson.
I just wanted to add to that, and the homelessness issue is actually very personal to me, but my concern is that location. That's all I have to add, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right. Any other business to come before the council?
Move to adjourn?
Second?
Motion by Geisler, second by Carlson to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Adjourn.